he'll probably have to get a recount because it's controlled by a Democrat governor, as you well know. All right, my friend. Thank you. Kevin McCarthy, what'd you do? Lose my phone number?
No, I'm sorry. I got to get out of the elevator, but no. Sorry.
Well, I'm just messing with you. Listen, there is a bright spot. You did pretty well in the House. Tell us about it.
All right. Listen to this so far. The AP has called 8 seats, okay? And I'm ahead in 10 other seats.
Oh, wait. Hold on now. First of all, have you lost any seats?
No, not one incumbent. I lost one open seat, meaning a Republican retired, and we didn't carry it. But all that, they talked about Texas, no. And listen to this. Every seat where we beat a Democrat in, we won with a woman, a minority, or a veteran. Think about that. And
you get a whole rainbow coalition going on there.
No, you know what? I credit the president. Yes. We had more women running and more minorities. And there are going to be more Republican women in Congress than in the history of Congress. We're more than doubling the current number that's in Congress right now.
So let me get this straight. You needed 17 to take 17. The majority. You're telling me you got 8 for sure.
Yeah.
And 10 are on the cusp.
Yeah. Now, remember what Obama did? He went and sued North Carolina, and they redrew the seats. So I lost 2 seats. So when I needed 17, technically I need 19. Mm-hmm. But I've won 8 so far, so that puts you ahead by 6 seats right now, and I'm ahead in 10 others. And get this, 3 of them are in California. Michelle Steele.
Now, where in California?
Orange County. Michelle Steele, Young Kim, both of them born in South Korea, and David Valadao, who has a seat that's 72% Hispanic and that Hillary carries by 15 points. Defeating
I'm telling you, right, I see movement in the Hispanic world and in the African-American world, and you're right. Much of this is thanks to what the president's been doing. But that Orange County, they stole seats from us last time.
They did. Now listen to this, though. We won 2 seats in Miami.
Unbelievable.
Maria Salazar just beat the former Secretary of Health, Donna Shalala.
Oh, yes.
And remember, Donna
I remember her. Isn't she like 4 feet 2 inches tall?
Close.
You don't need to comment. Anyway, go ahead.
She called herself a socialist about 2 weeks ago. And this is a seat Hillary carried by a large number. And then Carlos Jimenez from Cuba, the mayor of Miami-Dade, just won Miami to Key West. We won in New York. Remember Max Rose, who talks a big game?
Oh, what a nasty guy he was.
Kicked his butt. They spent $20 million. But everybody has to remember.
And hold on, my buddy Lee Zeldin held on.
Oh, yeah. Well, Lee Zeldin's a rock star. He's always going to hold on. But listen to this, though, too. Claudia Tenney's coming back. But every person, Cook Report, every pollster said a good night for me would be only losing 10 seats. They said we would lose from 15 to 20. And you know what's most interesting? The head of the Democratic Congressional Committee, Sherry Bustos, she's fighting to hold on to her seat in Illinois.
And Chip Roy, my buddy, he won.
Chip Roy won. And I tell you what, he was in a fight the entire time. Remember who ran against him? Wendy Davis. Remember she ran for governor in Texas. Everyone poured all that money. He fought all the way through, and he stayed firm everywhere. They didn't beat one incumbent.
All right, let me ask you this. How'd you do in Virginia?
Well, right now, Virginia's numbers are coming back. We're ahead in 2 of the seats. We got Freitas, a veteran in the military, running against Spanberger.
But Freitas is slightly behind, right?
Yeah. Well, he was slightly ahead. I didn't know the latest count right now.
Yeah.
I got to check on that. But he had a pretty good lead, and they were going to count some more.
You won Good, I think, is one of their names.
Yeah, Good won. Now, that was an open seat. That was a Republican. That was an open seat, so it doesn't give me another one. But they thought they were going to win that one.
All right, so listen. You were late, so I need to carry over. I have some questions for you, okay?
Okay.
Here's the question I'm going to ask you. The answer when we come back. Is there going to be a bit of a rebellion in the Democrat caucus? Do you think it's time they think that 80-year-old, very nasty, Pelosi, that she needs to move aside for the next generation of kooks, Democrats? That's my question to you, Kevin McCarthy, when we return. I'll be right back. McCarthy, the Republican, Nancy Pelosi has to be very concerned because the long knives are out for her, don't you think?
Oh, yeah, you're already hearing it in the Democrats. They're trying to find somebody to run against her, but remember how you get elected Speaker. You can win inside the conference, but on the floor of the House, you have to have 218 votes. Remember, she had close to 20 Democrats last time vote against her. So right now, AOC's squad got stronger, and the Democrat number is smaller. What if they are sitting in the majority with 5 seats? She can't afford people to vote against her. So right now, if a Democrat wants to take Nancy Pelosi out, and remember, all 3 people in leadership, Steny Hoyer, and their whip, Clyburn, they're all 80 years old. They are all 80 years old, and
they don't look a day over 79. I must tell you.
Well, if we're worried about Joe Biden, he still has another couple years till he can run for Democrat leadership in the House.
Can you imagine going to their birthdays? And by the way, I'm all for old people. Don't get me wrong, but not these 4. Anyway, go ahead.
No. And so, if she comes to the floor of the House and they simply have 10 Democrats say they're not voting for her, she's not Speaker.
I can hear the wheels in your head moving. Do you? What's the maximum likelihood of the number of Republicans in a serious way that you think you can get
to win?
No, in the remaining seats that are a toss-up, where they're leading.
Well, I just looked at California. Young Kim and Michelle Steele's numbers went up. And remember in California what happened to us last time? 3 weeks later, we ended up losing. And so when they're counting these...
Can they do that again?
No, I don't think they could do it again, because what they did is they've been counting the ballots in the order which they came, so we got the bad ballots out of the way. We won on Election Day overwhelmingly, so their numbers are only going to increase. So I think if we can end up somewhere between 212 and maybe 215. I mean, if we ended up a little closer, could we not get 1 or 2 of these Democrats? Remember, we got Van Drew to re-register a Republican. He went from the majority to the minority. What if 1 or 2 of these Democrats that are a really tough seat, they know we're going to beat them next time. They are not going to stay in the majority, right? What if they re-registered now and stayed in the majority and didn't have to put up with Nancy Pelosi?
So you need 217.
I need 218 to be in the majority.
You need 218, and you think you're going to at least get to 212?
I think I could end up at 212, yes.
Good Lord. I'm surprised that she'd be able to hold on, even her. I'm talking about as leader of her party.
Yeah, well, she promised them they would win double digits. She said last week she's running 2 elections right now because she's going to add so many Democrats. She's winning this time, and there's going to be so many Democrats we can't win it the next time. That's literally what she said. Sherry Bustos guaranteed them it'd be double digits. Steny Hoyer promised them this week that it was 15 seats. And then the Cook report came out 2 days ago and said it's going to be 20 seats. And said,
by the way, what's with that damn Cook report? It's never right anymore.
No, I would argue with David. I said, what are you talking about? Let's walk through these races. Not only did I not lose 15 seats, we gained them. We didn't lose one incumbent. And everybody we won. And everybody needs to know this across the country. Every Democrat we beat, we won with a woman, a minority, or a veteran. This party has expanded under President Trump. We won in Miami because we have more Cubans who joined with us, because they understand the difference between socialism and freedom, because a lot of them left socialism to come to this country. They know where it's headed.
So isn't this in many ways also rejection of AOC and this, what do they call them, the Stooges? I forget what they call them. The squad, yeah, whatever. Yes, it's a rejection nationwide, but internally, the Democrats, the squad got bigger. So how can Nancy Pelosi even govern? AOC already controlled the floor before. She's going to have more power now. By the way,
Democrats,
she's going to run against Schumer. She's basically threatening it now.
Well, why wouldn't she run against Schumer now? Twice Schumer thought he was going to be the leader, and he failed both times. You got to give Mitch McConnell credit.
Oh, yeah.
He had a tough map, And think about it. Just between his seat and Lindsey Graham, the Democrats spent $200 million.
Unbelievable.
Why would any person in the country ever give Act Blue another dollar? I've never seen $1 billion wasted more. The only person who threw $1 billion away faster was Michael Bloomberg in his presidential race.
What a fool. Yeah. I have a theory about that. He wanted Biden in there because of China. I really believe that.
Oh, I believe, yes.
You know, he's got a lot of business activities over there. But here's the thing, Kevin McCarthy. I'm quite serious about this.
Yeah.
Facebook is censoring the hell out of me. I mean, ask Mr. Producer. They're looking over my shoulder. They disagree with my opinion. It says whack, whack, whack. So I told everybody, go over to Parler, which is a wonderful new place to go, by the way. Even Twitter, you know, at least right now, then Facebook, and I'm sure Twitter, are so completely out of control. So if we do gain control at some point, can we please yank that 230 from them? Because it's ridiculous.
Yeah, remember why 230 was created. 230 was created to give them liability protection so they wouldn't get sued about what on their sites. And now they want to pick and choose. So if they want to pick and choose, then somebody has to have some legal ability to go back against them.
Mm-hmm. Well, I would love to have that, but they're bulletproof.
Yeah.
All right, how did you do, by the way?
I won. I won by the highest margin of a Republican in California. That's
What'd you get?
High.
What'd you get?
I'm sitting, I think, at about 57 or 58.
That's pretty good, right?
No, I've done better. But remember where I'm fighting. I mean, all the good conservatives are leaving California because they're being taxed away.
They are.
But having said all of that, we're going to pick up seats in California. David Valadao, first-generation American. Young Kim, Michelle Steele, both born in South Korea. Michael Garcia, first-generation American, is going to hold his seat.
How did he do?
LA County. He's a little behind right now. They just put a new number in. He cut the lead in half, so he's only about 1,500 away. As they count the next one in Ventura County, he'll go over the top and he'll win.
Because Ventura's mostly Republican, right?
No, they just counted L.A. and he gained with L.A. County. This guy is really an amazing man. Think about it. His father comes from Mexico for the same reason all of our ancestors came, right? For a better life for his children. He goes to local high school. He excels. He gets nominated to the Naval Academy. He graduates in the top 3%, and he flies F-18s and defends our nation. Then he comes back home, works in business. His brother works hard and has a car dealership. They're just in the community, never ran for office before, but sees what's going on and says, I'm going to run. Not knowing that we hadn't flipped a seat from Democrat to Republican in 22 years, and we're about to do it 4 times in this election.
Mm-hmm.
And he won.
That's great. All right. Well, listen, you sound very upbeat. This seems like a very, very positive development, and they really weren't ready for this. They really were not ready for this. So good job there, Republican leader.
Proved them all wrong, and I'll tell you what, everything they did backfired. Everything Nancy Pelosi embraced the socialism, it backfired. Now, I've got a couple cases out there that I'm competing. I got some lawyers in there. So if people want to help us out, go to takethehouse.com, because we're not going to give up on any seat. We're going to fight them all along the way. They stole seats from us before, and we won't let it again.
TakeTheHouse.com, Mr. Producer. Let's pop that up there.
Yes.
All right, Kevin McCarthy. Thank you, sir. We appreciate it.
Thank you for everything and all you do. You know what? This country is exceptional, and that's why people voted for us. They want people who believe that this country is exceptional and that we're conceived in liberty and dedicated to everybody's equal, and that's exactly the candidates we had, and those is why they won.
I understand AOC runs on that agenda. No, just kidding. All right, you take care of yourself.
All right.
All right,
Thank
thanks.
you, my friend.
All right, you too, bud. Bye.